Cord.
So what can we do to bring more gratitude into our day? This picture that I have here, I want to tell a little story about. When the pandemic started, Hallmark did this wonderful program where they knew people were isolated and at home. So they said, get onto our website and we'll send you a free pack of cards and you can send them to whoever you want to help brighten their day. Unfortunately, the program has ended by now. We're almost a year later, but these are some examples of what they sent me, which I thought was really cute. And one of them say, here for you, here for everything. And it's so important that we try to not only take care of ourselves, and show self-gratitude, but that enables us to show kindness to others. So one of the things you can do to bring more gratitude into your day is brighten somebody's day with sending them a handwritten card or a postcard, or just picking up the phone without an agenda and asking how you're doing, right? Just checking in with people. I think another thing that can be great is to virtually volunteer, and there are a lot of opportunities for that right now. One program I love is Letters Against Isolation. Feel free to look it up. And it's basically, the concept is sending letters to people that are in senior homes and places where they're isolated, and just being able to correspond with them and brighten someone's day. Make sure that you just try to pay things forward. I've heard some great stories about people getting in the drive-through lines at Starbucks and paying for coffee, and then that going forward like 900 times or something crazy like that. But you hear a lot of those great stories, right? And it just takes something little. So just try to reach out to people. As far as what you can do for yourself for gratitude, one of the suggestions I have is to do something simple, like write down one thing you're grateful for each day, or write down the 3 best things that happened to you that day. If 3 seems like too many, then just do the one. But I think the more that you can do to showcase what was good in your day, instead of harping on the things that we can't control, and that may seem still uncertain right now, it's really helpful as far as practicing self-care and gratitude. So I'm going to advance the slide here. Some other suggestions I have, and this is actually content from an article from Advent Health. Jot down your joys. So this helps you center in on the gratitude. Like sometimes it's just, when I think about, oh, what was good in my day, and you might think, boy, today wasn't good, right? This helps you zero in on that. So what is one thing that's safe, one place that's safe and relaxes you, one thing that's going well in your life, 3 things that you enjoy or that you're looking forward to, or just 2 people that you love and you're happy to have in your life. And I think one thing I would add to this as well is just this idea of planning. Planning is scientifically proven to improve our well-being. So even if there's things that you can't do right now, like I think, we're all at the point where we love to be taking a trip somewhere great, right? Even if you take the time to plan it, it can make you happier and more grateful to even have something to look forward to, even if you can't do it now. So some other ideas here in our acronym for HEART, and again, this is also from the Advent Health article, and the HEART stands for the following: health, think of what your body allowed you to do today. Eat, what did you provide nourishment, your body provided nourishment for? What kind of activity did you do today that you really enjoyed? The R is for relationship. Who did you see or talk to that brought you joy? And time. Allow yourself to be grateful that you're here. So that's the HEART acronym: health, eat, activity, relationship, and time. Just some other ideas. And another idea, here we go, the Happiness Project. So one of my favorite authors that I follow is Gretchen Rubin, and she wrote a couple of bestsellers, one of which, and I think her first one, is The Happiness Project. And I really encourage you to look it up, look her up on her website. She also has a podcast called Happier. And she also talks about the concept of making plans that I mentioned. She makes lists every year for things that she wants to accomplish in the next year. So this year would be the 21 things to do in 2021. And this is not just a list of professional goals. This is a list of personal goals, of just things that you've looked forward to maybe trying. Like one year on my list was go ziplining, just something that you might want to do that you haven't done yet. So set those goals and intentions, make them micro goals and manageable. And that can go a long way in making your self-care easier and helping you accomplish them and feeling more grateful about how you're spending your time. It also can really help to have an accountability partner. That's something that I've done during the pandemic with one of my close friends. We check in every morning via text. What do you got going on today? We might check in during the day, some days, how's it going? And believe me, there are days where at the end of the day, I say, those 5 things I said I would do, I sat and caught up with 6 episodes of The Real Housewives instead and didn't do any of it. And once in a while, that is okay. And just make sure that you are cutting yourself some slack for trying to deal with all the chaos and uncertainty that's going on right now. But these are just some things to keep you on track, because we don't want to have every day be like that on the sofa. We want to make sure that you are accomplishing your personal and professional goals. One thing that's really helped me during the pandemic, and I did this early on, I took a free class that's being offered through Yale called The Science of Well-Being, and the professor is this Dr. Laurie Santos that you see on the screen. It's nicknamed the Happiness Course. It's the most popular course at Yale, and she really talks about how to focus on your health and mindfulness and things that make you happy and grateful. And she also has a podcast that I would encourage you to check out called The Happiness Lab. So this is free, which is nice, because if any of you are familiar with Coursera, they have a lot of courses that are fee-based, not certainly high, but fee-based. And this one I think is being offered for free because they knew that people could really benefit from it during the pandemic. So if you have a chance, check it out. If not, she's done some great interviews during the pandemic for things like, Good Morning America and Today and that sort of thing. So if you put her name in on a search, I think you can even just watch a few clips and really get a sense of some really quick takeaways of how to make you more happier and grateful for things in your life. And I want to talk about, I think when we hear about gratitude and self-care and happiness and these sort of concepts, some people think, this is something sort of just for myself, or it's maybe too touchy-feely. And I wanted you to get a sense of where this comes in a workplace. If you're not an entrepreneur like me, if you're in a traditional workplace where you have a team or you answer to somebody, you're in a company, even a small business where you have employees, why is gratitude so important there? So, some of you may be able to see, I have this little picture here of a mug that says, I'm not feeling very worky today, which I think we can all relate to sometimes, right? But I think gratitude in the workplace is important because it helps you navigate the uncertainty. And if you are a team leader or somebody that leads anyone, even if it's one person, it helps your team model your own behavior. So if they see that you are virtually volunteering or being present or being grateful or checking in with people or being friendly, that is something they will try to emulate and model. And overall, it'll just make for a better workplace where you build more camaraderie and people are feeling more comfortable with showing vulnerability. And that can also go a long way in being grateful and being present. And lastly, I want to talk about connection. So some of you who may know me out there, I'm all about talking about strategic networking. That's what I do on most of my presentations. So connection really plays a lot into gratitude. Many of us are feeling isolated and lonely right now, and it's really important to try to focus on the positive emotions. So when you take those steps to check in with people, normally I think a great question, and when I say normally, I mean when we're not in a pandemic, it can really be a great way to open a conversation to just simply ask somebody, how are you? Because it's a question without an agenda and it opens them up to talk about whatever they want, which can, go a long way in engaging people and opening conversation. For right now, during the pandemic, I think that can be a bit of a dangerous question because, it might not be a good day or you might not be having a good week. So the how are you question can be a little bit open-ended as far as getting people to focus on the positive and look at what they're grateful for. So here are some suggestions for what you can be asking instead right now. So one question I have is, what did you do this week that you loved? What's gone well for you lately? And I think those are great examples. Or what's the best thing that happened to you last week or this month? Getting people to zero in on something that they are grateful for is a lot better way right now, I think, to address engaging a conversation and making sure that you're both focusing on the positive. If you're not getting on the phone and having these conversations or doing something like a virtual one-on-one, there are other ways that you can engage right now. And you can send somebody a text that just says you're thinking about them. I talked about sending maybe a handwritten note or a card. Some people are sending out maybe a question of the week or a monthly postcard to people. It doesn't have to be to everyone. Maybe you pick 10 people, 10 friends, or 10 people that are clients or colleagues or vendors or donors or whatever it may be. Pick some people to just send something out to, a sampling, and change it up every month or every week or whatever works for you. But just ways that you can still touch base and reach out to people and show that you're thinking about them and that you're grateful for their place in your life. And, you know, can we